Bushido Blade. Bushido Blade is an interesting game. And I think maybe not for the reasons other people might think it's an interesting game. I mean, obviously, the big thing with Bushido Blade is, hey, you know, one-hit death, insta-kill thing. I think what's interesting about Bushido Blade to me is just like how sparse it is. There's very little content in this game, but because of the gimmick, you know, it just kind of works. Let's go. I always liked Mr. Man here. He's got like a weird looking outfit. I don't think the characters matter as much as the actual weapons, and I think every character can basically use like every weapon. And I do think there's like a lot of weapons that are preferable to other. Like I feel like the hammer is a very powerful weapon in this game, but some of the like the daggers and stuff aren't nearly as interesting. Let's not watch this cutscene. I think it's pretty much just that opening cutscene being like, hey, there's ninjas, or not ninjas, but like Bushido samurai men and lady, and actually a couple ladies now that I think about it, and then there's like a little face picture and they tell their story, and then there's a cutscene at the end. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because you know, getting back to like what most people typically talk about with this game, you know, the single hit system, it's surprisingly like kind of flaily to some extent, because it's surprisingly easy to block a lot of attacks, although that person just like took it. So there's a lot of times where you're like sitting there and you're just like bouncing each other's swords a lot, and you're just kind of like waiting for the one hit or the one space to like get in. And even though it's just that one hit kind of thing and it's single strike kind of attacks, maybe there's like 2-3 hits sometimes, but very rarely is like a combo. There's actually quite a few like different like options. There's the standard stance, which then I think you get all 4 face buttons, yeah, for different strikes. Oh sorry, I think square is like a block. And then you also can like switch, so I can do an upper hand one, and so it's like a different set of attacks here. Like, look how fast that is. I don't. That's my block. And one thing I really like about this game is that, like, if you damage someone's legs, they just get like stuck on the ground. Oh boy. And also, if you don't hit like a deadly blow, they are pretty resilient. You just kind of lose limbs and stuff. They crawl away from you. But they're still one-hit kills though. Like if they hit you, like they're not always one-hit kills. But like a deadly hit will one-hit kill you. So even if they're down like that, they're still very. I'm gonna go do it. Like you can also do low stances as well. Oh jeez, there we go. Still not dead. I think she damaged my legs because I can barely move myself. Just taking it. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, the wall. Oh, I can kind of run though. Oh jeez. All right. Here we go. I feel like the run hit is very effective in this game, but there's like a, and I don't know if the run hit does it so much, but like there's like a like, I guess you'd call like a honor system here, where it's like if you can slice the person at the beginning of combat if you want, but you don't get like the proper ending because you're considered to like have fought dirty essentially. So you know, you just want to sit there and wait for them to do their thing, and then like you can kick up sand and stuff into people's eyes, and that's also kind of considered dirty fighting as well. I don't know if the katana thing that guy, or like the like shuriken that ninja lady was throwing was considered like dishonorable fighting. So it actually looks like every level in the story mode is the same area, but it's weird, and this is kind of, there's a lot of weird things about Bushido Blade and its features, like, oh, it's like, here's this starting area, but you can just go. Like, there's a lot of level for some reason. Like, I don't really know the benefit of coming this way unless you're like trying to specifically get yourself like held up in a specific area. Like, doing this is not I'd say not particularly beneficial to anybody. You just can kind of do it, and like you can go fight wherever you want, but it's just not very clear why you'd ever want to go fight over here or something. And it's like, I don't know, man, we're just gonna go find a new life to live somewhere. And this area is actually surprisingly pretty big, and like because they start you in that beginning section, you actually don't really see a lot of this stuff. I think in multiplayer they do kind of like take you around to different parts of there we go. In multiplayer they do take you around to like different parts of the overworld and like spawn you there. But in single player they're just like, hey, you spawn this one spot, and for the most part you can just stay there for the entire first set of fights. And it's like an interesting idea, but like, what do you do with it? It doesn't really make any sense. You know, and there's like 6 characters in this game. You have like a handful of weapons and stuff. And you know, you can play through everyone's story and everything, but at the same time, you know, once you're done with that story, like there's not a lot of content in this game really. Which I mean isn't particularly uncommon for fighting games. I just gotta cut the crap out of his feet. The hammer guys are pretty scary. I should probably go ahead and get rid of him before he does anything nasty like that. And like fighting games, yeah, you do always have like a content. The content is, you know, playing against other people. And you know, I think that's what's neat about this game is that like it's very accessible. Oh, I've never seen that before. That was interesting. Or maybe if I have, don't remember it. The content's very accessible in this case because, you know, it is very single strike. You know, if you know what you're doing, you can be kind of cheap about it, but it's not really like there's not really like a certain attack that you just can't get around kind of thing, and even if you get to the point where you're like able to easily disable people, then you're still pretty deadly when you're on the ground. And then yeah, so once you get through this first set of characters, you kind of just run through here, jump into the sewer, and then fight a guy in the sewer. And that's like the level progression in this game. But yeah, it's hard to really say like too much about it. It's just a really weird like outside of the fact that it is also like the single hit thing, it's just weird because it's just so like it's almost like they didn't know what to do with the game. They're like, we made this cool like, you know, single hit combat thing, and then they're like, okay, well, let's make a bunch of like open environments for you to walk around, and you know, it's oh. There we go. Okay, and it's just like why is always the question. It's cool to explore, and I think like as a kid when I was playing this game, I was like super into just like running around and looking around all the places and then fighting in different spots. Let's see. Sometimes I don't know why I'm considered to be dishonorable when I'm playing. And I think they don't let you go to this fight. So I think this is actually pretty cool though. The last boss is a guy with a gun. And the gun is pretty much one hit kill. So I've largely found that just like dashing in and hitting him is like the easiest way to kill him, but you know, I'll let him do his thing. Let him shoot a little bit. But at the same time, even though he has a gun, he can't really block very well, if I recall correctly. It's been a little bit since I played this game. I do also like that your wounds are represented, like when I got hit in the face, my eyes covered, and then my legs also hurt. Let's see if I can do this without... I think attacking while running might be considered a dishonorable action, possibly. But I don't know. I'm trying to just like get up to him and then get into stance and then slice. Oops. Oops. I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. Just like Rufus looking guy. I never played Bushido Blade 2. I heard that it kind of got away from this. I forget, who's it, like something lightweight. Bait something lightweight is the developer of this. I like Kabuki Warriors quite a bit, which they kind of worked on a little bit. Ah, he didn't block it. They worked on Kabuki Warriors alongside Genki, and a few other games. Bursla Lightweight, I think is what they're called. So they did kind of a handful of interesting, like, you know, sword fighting games after this, outside of Bushido Blade. Bushido Blade was the only one they did for Square. Ah, jeez. Maybe I should just run in and hit him. I'm just worried that we might get dishonorable stuff if that happens. I know at the very least I don't want to like strike him while he's doing his pose thing. I don't know if I can taunt myself. I don't think so. Shoot a little bit. What? That didn't seem right. There we go. Okay, let's see if that worked out for us. Mr. Bushido. Oh no. I think the story is okay. Like, I mean, considering it's a fighting game story, like, I think it's okay-ish. I forget if I called that guy the last boss earlier. He is definitely not the last boss. So at this like range, you kind of just like bounce off each other's weapons for the most part. Jeez. There we go. There we go. I would say I don't particularly have a lot of strategy to this game though. I kind of just find like some hits that seem to get through on certain weapons and then just kind of stick to that. Alright. I think there's one more fight. I could be wrong. And then we'll poke around some of the other stuff. There's not much though. Oh yeah, I forgot about this lady. Well then. It's like smacked in the face. Oh. Okay. You gonna spin again? I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Am I supposed to just like smash the button? That seems like maybe it's working. This doesn't feel right. Alright. Maybe it was doing that because I was holding forward. You can cut trees if you want. Or maybe it's just the bamboo. I'm pretty sure. I thought you could cut trees. Maybe you can. Oh, maybe the tree just blocks hits. There are like bamboo parts in this game where you can cut stuff. Because there's no health bar though, these fights can go on for a while depending on how the players are playing and like where you're hitting. But yeah, I guess in a lot of ways it's just a game strictly about punishing, and the second you're able to punish somebody, pretty much they're dead. The multiplayer doesn't have like the two score system that you'd get out of like most fighting games. Like essentially you can just go back and forth as long as you want. Oh yeah, this dude. Ooh, I don't like this stance at all. Let's back up a little bit. I think the low katana stance has like this gut cut that I really. Oh. Okay, there we go. And then like I feel like the katana has like these really nasty quick strikes that can mess you up. There we go. I feel like I generally played, and this guy kind of looks like Papa Nier in this cutscene. Probably just because of like how discolored the cutscene is and everything. Kage, my Bushido, everything. And you get a CG cutscene. And you learn about the ending. I feel like this guy kills himself. Rest in peace, man. Yep. Senpuku or whatever. Some something. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen somebody say that without actually just making the joke of committing Sudoku. I don't remember if this is how it ends for everyone or if it's just him. Rest in peace. And we did it. We beat Bushido Blade. Let me see if I can skip past this. Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple of more modes that are kind of interesting. The multiplayer is pretty much that, but you know, just doing that back and forth with your friend, which is, you know, fine. I think it keeps track of like how many kills you have. Let's see who we'll play as. We'll play as the ninja person, Red Shadow. We'll use the katana. Oh, I think in this mode you can only use the katana actually. So this mode is like almost like a score attack. You get a bunch of like baby ninja things, like normal people ninjas that you can just kind of tear through. I mean, it's still like one-hit kills, so you know you got to be careful. But they're not as aggressive as. Oh, they're not as aggressive as another, you know, thing. But you have to go through this whole mode with all the damage you have, so you know. Attacking on the ground is probably one of my favorite things. It's just real goofy. Certain attacks and stuff just look really silly on the ground in general. You kind of throw yourself on the ground sometimes. But since I took leg damage early on, this is going to be about as exciting as this is. Oh, jeez. There we go. I think it's a pretty quick restart, though, on this one. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's try not to lose our leg immediately. And I also don't think like the Bushido code stuff matters in this mode at all. It's literally, it's pretty much just kills. So take care of it however you can. I feel like running and hitting people is probably the most effective thing you can do in this game. But when you are running, you are vulnerable. Oh, I lost my arm. One of my favorite things that I'm trying to remember what the game's called. There's like some mech game on PC I played as a kid. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. I have a copy, but it's not here, unfortunately. Gray Wolf or something like that. That sounds wrong. Metal Gear. Is it Gear Metal? I don't remember. But you could, you're like a mech and you could lose your limbs and stuff, and I always really liked that. And doing it in here just reminds me of that game quite a bit. I think that's always like an interesting thing, like how you adapt to fighting. In this game, I feel like you're pretty much, you know, still pretty capable. I can't, like, for the most part, when you lose your arm, this is pretty much the normal attack stuff still. But there's probably like some analysis online. Yes, the traditional. I don't know how far you can run down this hall. Well, I mean, I'm gonna guess the hall is probably endless. Also, this man needs to die. Thank you. Let's see how far we can go. Oh no, are you gonna come with me? You wanna come to the bathroom with me? No? Oh, jeez. There we go. Let's see if we can get... Oh no, we got a... What's it called? Person. A lady. Lady person. Easy. Alright. Let's see if I can get someone to come with me. I don't think they want to, though. Maybe that's how they keep you from going down the hall too far. It's just like, they'll stop chasing you. I was showing the single player earlier, though, and it's like you can pretty much just walk wherever on the overworld, which is kind of interesting. But this slash mode is just kind of this hallway. I actually think this is probably one of the funner modes in the game. Just because the rest of the game, like, the combat system in this game is fun, but there's not a lot to do around it. It's like they made this combat system, they don't know how to... they don't know how to... Oh, I didn't know it checkpointed you. They don't know what reason you need to go around the world on and stuff. And like they're like, here, you can run around if you want, but it doesn't really matter in the end. But we'll go ahead and try to die out of here, so then we can go to the last mode in the game, which is silly. It's a first-person mode, which if you're familiar with any first-person mode in a game from this generation, it's pretty awful. It's not terrible, but it's probably as well implemented as it could be. Oh wow, he killed me while he's on the ground. Rest in peace, me. But I think stuff like that is part of why this game is pretty cool. There we go. Rip me. And then point of view mode. There is link mode, which I assume is the link cable for the PlayStation 1, but I've never really messed with it. Will be Tatsumi. And choose our enemy. I'll do the rapier. Cherry Blossom Grove. And you'll see, like, in this mode, there's like actually like a little icon of your character in the top right corner where you can see like how your character's positioned, because you do have this high-low system for attacks. You kind of want to keep an eye on how your character's standing, because it's not necessarily clear when you're using... What's it called? Okay, let's Stab this man. There was I think it was what's it called? Ocarina of Time, where they were gonna do like a first-person mode originally. Although I just really realized you meant that for the Link play. Yeah. No Link in this game. Alright. But most of this like early area is just like completely interconnected, so if I just like run, we can just go have a good time. Although maybe in this mode that stuff is locked off, I'm not sure. In the story mode you can just run around wherever. Okay, that's not gonna take me anywhere. Hey dude. Trying to remember how you get up there. Is it just walk towards it? Nope. Maybe you can only move around in story mode and outside this area. Goodbye. I always think it's like goofy just when you like instantly kill somebody. It's like, alright, see you, man. Woohoo. Yeah. That's pretty much Bushido Blade. There's not much to it. I think that's what's most interesting about it for me, though. There's not much to it. It's fascinating because I feel like this game is very well liked and talked about. When you come to actually play it, like, there's just not a lot going on here in terms of content. Get a friend so you can one-shot kill each other for like 10 minutes and be like, okay, this is okay. Let's go explore one last time before the end of the night. I'll go show you the world. Forgot to put the chat up there. Oh wait, let's leave. Goodbye. Yeah. Yeah, they pretty much just sit there and follow you, and you can't leave outside of this area until they follow with you. But then they'll chase you till the end of the time. But I was saying earlier, like, it's really weird. Like, if you just kill them in this area, you never leave this area. You're just here forever. It's only if you sit here and run away from them that you actually go to these other areas, and it just feels like such a waste to not, like, utilize these places. I guess you're utilizing them in multiplayer, but is this a zone or is this a wall? That's a zone. Okay. But it's just like this big interconnected world for some reason, and they never give you a reason to run around it. You would think like there would be at least, and I don't know how to get up on these ledges there. You think there'd at least be like some kind of adventure mode where you kind of explored around these places, but there's not. Like the story mode literally just drops you in that place and like you can fight here forever if you want. All right. And there's just no benefit as far as I can tell. Like, I don't feel like there's any kind of tactical advantage you get from fighting in different places. We can cut the bamboo here, though, if we want. Boom. Bamboo go. And I have no idea how big this world is, to be honest. I don't recognize most of this. Oh, get up there. Don't stab me in the foot, please. Thank you. In 2 players, though, I feel like this would be pretty fun to just, like, poke around the environment, though. Alright. Oh! Oh. Guess that's gonna do it for this week. Thanks for coming. We beat it. We did it. We beat Yakuza 2. I don't really know what the plan is for next week. Yeah, it is a nice different... this area is really cool. I just don't know why it's here. Like, they went and rendered so much and then never use any of it. Oh, is there a big delay? Yeah, sorry. I think it might have increased at some point, too. Maybe that was Twitch that increased their delay. But, yeah. But yeah, that's it for this week. So Yakuza 2 is done, and I think I'm gonna play Lost Dimension next. But I kind of want to play something in between. I don't know what yet. Preferably something I can beat within the stream time. And I was originally saying Ghost Squad, but come on, lady, let's go explore. I originally saying I was gonna do the Ghost Squad, but I worry about like oh, here's the door that was locked earlier. I worry about like you know, being able to pay attention to the stream and like talk. Even when I was playing Tomona-san earlier, like I really didn't have space to say too much. Like, because I was just focused on pressing the button. You coming? You coming? You guys have a good night. Bye.
女性は切りたくない。